Our only task is to assess whether the deprivation decision was unlawful. We have concluded it was not, and the appeal is dismissed.
If you fall under this group of people, know this. You may not be granted British citizenship, and if you already have it, it could be revoked immediately. Your British citizenship and passport, you might think they are your right, your permanent shield, your irrevocable ticket to a life in the United Kingdom. You are wrong. Dangerously wrong. Today at Daily Visa News, we are issuing a stark and urgent warning. If you fall into a specific group of people, the UK government has the power to declare that your citizenship is, and always was, nothing more than a temporary privilege. Understand this, you may be denied citizenship in the UK, and if you already have it, it can be snatched away in an instant, leaving you stranded and stateless. We are about to show you how one wrong move, one lie from your past, or even one return trip to your home country could result in the immediate revocation of your British citizenship. Many people have already fallen into this trap, and if you are one of them, or if you are engaging in these activities right now, you may no longer be considered a British citizen, wherever you are in the world. Stay with Daily Visa News, because what you're about to hear could be the most important information you ever receive about your life in the UK. And if you haven't already, subscribe to Daily Visa News right now for essential updates on UK immigration, citizenship, indefinite leave to remain, permanent residency, and everything else you must know about UK immigration policies. Let's begin with a case that has shaken the very foundation of what British citizenship means. You know the name Shamima Begum, a young British Muslim woman born and raised in East London who travelled to Syria as a 15-year-old schoolgirl to join New Islamic State group. The Home Secretary made a decision that echoed across the globe. He revoked her British citizenship on national security grounds. She lost her latest appeal over the removal of that citizenship. The UK government stripped Shamima Begum of her citizenship on the grounds of national security, not long after she was found in a detention camp in northeastern Syria. Begum, who is now in her 20s, argued that the decision was unlawful, in part because British officials failed to properly consider whether she was a victim of trafficking. That argument was rejected by a lower court, and the Court of Appeal in London has now rejected her most recent appeal. Judge Sue Carr stated, "It could be argued that the decision in Begum's case was harsh. It could also be argued that she is the author of her own misfortune. But it is not for the court to agree or disagree with either point of view. Their only task was to assess whether the deprivation decision was unlawful, and they concluded it was not." The British government welcomed the ruling. Begum's lawyers have repeatedly called on the UK to repatriate her and others who remain in Syria, describing the refusal to do so as disgraceful. They argue that every other country has taken their nationals back, and that the UK now stands virtually alone. Her legal team has vowed not to stop fighting until she receives justice and is safely back home. But for years, Begum has been fighting this decision through the courts. Her lawyers have argued she was a child, a victim of trafficking who was groomed online and smuggled into Syria by a Canadian intelligence agent working for ISIS. They argued the government failed in its duty to protect her. But after years of legal challenges, the UK's Court of Appeal delivered a crushing blow. They dismissed her appeal, stating that while the decision could be seen as harsh, it could also be argued that she was the author of her own misfortune. Their only task, they said, was to determine if the decision was unlawful, and they concluded it was not. The fight didn't end there. Her legal team vowed to keep fighting, but her hopes were dashed again when the UK Supreme Court refused to even hear her appeal, stating it did not raise an arguable point of law. This means she must remain in a detention camp in Syria, effectively stateless, with no right to ever return to the UK. Her lawyers now plan to take the case to the European Court of Human Rights. But, as it stands, her connection to Britain has been legally severed. So, why are we bringing this up? Because the principles used to banish Shamima Begum are not confined to her. They are part of a wide and growing set of powers the government is using more and more. And this is where you need to pay very close attention. Most people living in the United Kingdom travel for holidays back to their home country. Some think that because they have that British passport, it is an unbreakable bond. Others go back home and, let's be blunt, do things they would never dare to do in the UK. They believe what happens there stays there. This is a catastrophic miscalculation. The power to strip you of your citizenship is enshrined in UK law, and it has been expanding. The primary law is Section 40 of the British Nationality Act. This power was dramatically widened by the Nationality, Immigration and Asylum Act, which for the first time allowed the government to strip citizenship from people born in the UK who hold dual nationality. The powers were extended again by the Immigration Act and, most chillingly, by the Nationality and Borders Act. There are two main reasons you can lose your citizenship. The first is what Court Shamima Begum. The Home Secretary can revoke your citizenship if it is deemed conducive to the public good. This is a broad term, but it is most often used in cases related to national security. This includes terrorism. Any involvement, support, or even glorification of terrorist activities can put you in the firing line. It also includes espionage, spying for a foreign power, serious organised crime, involvement in drug trafficking, human trafficking, or other major criminal enterprises, war crimes or crimes against humanity, and hostile state activity working to undermine the UK's interests on behalf of another country. Now, there is a crucial catch. The law states that the government cannot use this power if it makes the person stateless. So how did they do it to Shamima Begum, who was born in the UK? The government successfully argued that because her parents were of Bangladeshi origin, she was eligible for Bangladeshi citizenship at the time her UK citizenship was revoked. It did not matter that Bangladesh said she would not be allowed into the country, the theoretical possibility was enough. This creates a terrifying reality for millions of British citizens with foreign heritage. A legal analysis has suggested that millions of people in England and Wales could be eligible to be stripped of their citizenship because they could potentially claim nationality elsewhere through their parents or grandparents. This creates a two-tier system of citizenship where naturalised citizens and those with immigrant parents have fewer rights than those without a connection to another country. And the law has become even more draconian. The Nationality and Borders Act gives the Home Office the power to revoke your citizenship without even telling you. They can do this if it's not reasonably practicable to give you notice or if it's in the interest of national security or diplomatic relations. Imagine finding out your passport is invalid only when you try to re-enter the country you call home. And it is not just about national security. There is another far more common reason people are losing their citizenship, and it has nothing to do with terrorism. Your citizenship can be revoked if it was obtained through deceit. This is where thousands of people are unknowingly at risk. This includes any instance where you'd have provided false information or forged documents during any stage of your immigration journey. Concealed material facts like a criminal record you did not declare or your true marital status, or used a false identity. Unlike the public good rule, the law is much harsher here. The government is allowed to revoke citizenship on grounds of fraud even if it renders a naturalised citizen completely stateless. Consider the real-world case of a man identified as Ahmed. He came to the UK, secured indefinite leave to remain, and eventually citizenship. His entire claim was built on a lie. He had falsely claimed to be divorced from his wife back in Pakistan and used a relationship with an EU national to secure his status. For years, he lived as a British citizen. But the past has a long shadow. The disaction was only uncovered years later when he tried to sponsor his wife and children to join him in the UK, revealing he had used forged divorce documents and lied about his marriage. His citizenship was revoked. He appealed, but the courts upheld the decision, stating he had dishonestly concealed the true nature of his relationship. His life in the UK was erased because of a lie told years before. And this is not an isolated incident. The government has been actively pursuing these cases. Many involve people who lied about their nationality when claiming asylum years ago, such as Albanians who pretended to be from Kosovo decades ago, only for the deception to be uncovered later. Let this be clear. If at any point in your journey to becoming a British citizen, from your very first visa application to your naturalisation ceremony, you lied, you concealed, or you deceived, you are sitting on a ticking time bomb. It does not matter if it was 5, 10, or 20 years ago. As the Ahmed case proves, the Home Office can and will act on new information no matter how much time has passed. So, what does this mean for you? It means your citizenship is conditional. It is conditional on your good conduct and on the truthfulness of the information you provided to obtain it. That holiday you take back home if you get involved in serious criminal activity or actions that could be deemed a threat to the UK, you risk being barred from returning. Your passport can be cancelled while you are abroad. That little white lie on your application form from a decade ago, if it is discovered, it could unravel your entire life here. The The government's power is immense. While there is a right to appeal a revocation decision to the first-tier tribunal or the Special Immigration Appeals Commission for national security cases, the battle is uphill, expensive, and emotionally devastating. In the case of Shamima Begum, the courts have shown they are reluctant to interfere with the Home Secretary's decisions on national security matters. This is the new reality of British citizenship in the 21st century. The rules have changed. The powers have expanded. The consequences are severe. This is not to scare you without reason. This is to educate you, to warn you. Your British passport is not a shield. For some, it is a fragile contract that can be torn up at any moment. If you fall under the categories we have discussed today, if you are hiding a secret from your immigration past, or if you are considering activities that could be deemed not conducive to the public good, then just know this: your citizenship can and will be revoked. Thank you for watching Daily Visa News. If you found this report helpful, subscribe to Daily Visa News and turn on notifications so you never miss urgent updates about UK immigration, citizenship, indefinite leave to remain, and permanent residency. This is information you simply cannot afford to miss.